كن مسلما
وكفاك بين الناس فقرا
كن مسلما
وكفاك عند الله ذخرا كن مسلما وكفاك بين الناس فقرا كن مسلما وكفاك عند الله ذخرا
ورائع القرآن جل الله ما أسمى هداها كن مسلما
ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أما بعد الحمد لله. My dear brothers and sisters, inshallah today we are going to discuss a very important topic. Title of this lecture of ours is either Muslim or Mushrik. Alhamdulillah, today by the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we are witnessing very sad and difficult situation of Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And one of the main causes of downfall and continuous struggle is that those who assign themselves to be the carriers of al-Islam and followers of the Quran and Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam are those who are ignorant of Asluddin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He revealed this religion to all Anbiya, and main topic, main theme was La ilaha illallah. There is no one worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقَدَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعَبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained, وَقَدَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعَبُدُوا. There is no one worthy of worship إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ except me, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the meaning of La ilaha illallah. But today there are groups of Jamaat, groups of people who think that someone who is the ibadu ghayrullah, who is the worship of other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can be also a Muslim, wahid, hanif. And they assign to them al-Islam. But these people, these groups of people, they worship Tawagid, they worship democracy, they worship other ilahs than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or together with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you will see them constantly, they say, no, you can't make takfir of them. They are your brothers Muslims, but they are just juhal, they are ignorant, or they have ta'wil. They have they assign the meaning to the text, so they are just mistaken. You cannot do that. You need to make the conditions and to take away the preventives of someone to be Kaafir then. And all these similar stories, excuses which they assign to them. But, however, the one who thinks that a man can be Muslim while he worships someone else than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that person, he is not Muslim himself. Because of two things mainly. First, that he is the ignorant of meaning of La ilaha illallah. That person, he does not understand the essence, the fundament of al-Islam, the Asluddin. And second, he is the one who belittles, he is the one who makes Kufr into the ayat and Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they make takfir on those who worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, this person, he is a Kaafir himself. As Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Abdul-Wahhab rahimahullah, he said in his Nawaqid al-Islam, where he assigned 10 among other 10 of Nawaqid al-Islam, which there is ijma upon, and he said number 3 is the one in the meaning who does not make takfir on the Kaafir, or he doubts his kufr, or he thinks that his minhaj, that his way is the good way. So the one who does it, he is Kaafir himself. And the end of this Risala of Nawaqid al-Islam, he said the one who does not have excuse in this, in his jahl, in his tawil, in his taqlid, or anything else except if he is mukrih, if he is those who are compelled to do it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said when He, regarding the Banu Israel and those nations who came before us, He said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل يا أهل الكتاب لا تغلوا في دينكم غير الحق ولا تتبعوا أهواء قوم قد ضلوا من قبل وضلوا كثيرا وضلوا عن سواء السبيل, meaning, say, O you people of book, لا تغلوا في دينكم, don't go beyond in your deen, غير الحق, opposite to the truth, ولا تتبعوا, and do not follow أهواء قوم قد ضلوا من قبل, desires of people who were themselves astray and they make astray many of them. عن سواء السبيل, from the right path. Then Allah SWT continues, لعن الذين كفروا من بني إسرائيل على لسان داود وعيسى بن مريم ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون. Allah SWT continues, He said, cursed are those by the tongues from among Bani Israel, by the tongues of Dawood alayhi salam and Isa, son of Maryam, because ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون, because they always went beyond the boundaries. كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه, because they did not warn those who do mistakes. They did not enjoy good and forbid evil. Allah SWT said, لَبِئْسَ مَا كَانُوا يَفْعَلُونَ, evil is that which they used to do. تَرَى كَثِيرًا مِنْهُمْ يَتَّبَعُونَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, you see many of them, how they are assigned tawala, how they become helpers and friends, الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, with those who are disbelievers. لَبِئْسَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لَهُمْ أَنفُسُهُمْ أَنْ سَخِطَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ وَفِي الْعَذَابِ هُمْ خَالِدُونَ. Allah said subhanahu wa ta'ala, evil is indeed that which they assign, which they for themselves, and what they prepare for themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is angry on them, and He prepared them the final and everlasting punishment. In these few ayats in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that those who are the believers, who are the Muslims among the Bani Israel, when they used to see among themselves those who do munkar, evil, they used to, as Prophet explained in the hadith, this ayat, they used to tell them, do not do that. This is evil. But tomorrow when they come and they used to do it again, this did not prevent them to do what? To warn them again and to be away from them. But they used to sit with them together and they used to not warn them anymore. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that it was the cause that Isa alayhi salam and before him Dawood alayhi salam, they cursed them. Because, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, because they used to make tawala with them. They used to be friendly with them and they used to do what? They used to sit with them, even though they persisted in evil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end He said that this is the evil which they prepare for themselves, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigned them punishment in hereafter. So ask you, my dear brothers and respected sisters, what are you going to say to those today who assign al-Islam to the Mushrikun? You see these people, they go and they vote for Tawagid. They vote for them in order to put them on power. In order that these Tawagid can have complete authority to assign what is good and to forbid what is evil, not according to the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but according to their whims and desires. And these, you see them with the long beards and white robes, they come and they vote for them. And they make shirk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you see those who are silent for, they say that they are jihad, they are Salafis, and they have the correct Aqidah, and they do what they say. And some of them, they used to say, in my street, majority of them, they vote for Tawagid. But how can I make takfir on them? And they are signed for them what? They are signed for those who are mushrikun because they do not have excuse. Because only excuse for shirk akbar is that they are mukrih, ikrar. And he assigned for them al-Islam, that they are hunafa muwahidun. Still, are these people, they are worshippers other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He cursed those who do what? Who are friends and who still do not enjoy good and forbid evil to the Muslims from Ben Israel. And what about those who assign al-Islam to mushrikun, to disbelievers? What is the greater tawalla? What is the greater muwalat than to assign al-Islam for those who are abidu li ghayrillah, those who are worshippers other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's why we said they are disbelievers themselves. May Allah save us. And in this either Muslim or Mushrik, we are going to discuss among the proofs, 10 proofs which Shaykh Abu Hamzah al-Afghani he wrote in his book, either Muslim or Mushrik. Shaykh Abdul Latif al-Shaykh, he said in Minhaj al-Tasis, page 12, he said how many nations perished because of the lack of knowledge and for not knowing the boundaries and the facts. And how many mistakes took place and much grief happened because of this. Now take for instance Islam and Shirk. They are contradictory terms which never unite or lift each other up. The ignorance of both of them or one of them leads many people to fall into Shirk and to worship the righteous people. This is because they do not know the true meanings and cannot imagine them. The end of the quote. So Shaykh Abdul Latif, he said that those who do know boundaries, hududullah, and they say that the Shirk and Iman can be together, even if the one worships other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is still muwahid, hanif, Muslim. And they say because they do not know the meanings, they do not know what is al-Islam, what is true meaning of Shirk, Kufr, they are destroyed themselves. And many of them, they fall into fitna, meaning of Shirk. That's why Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul-Wahhab in Ad-Durar al-Saniyah, volume 2, page 119, 120, he said, rahimahullah, he said, when he was giving nasiha, advice to his brothers, to his students, he said, by Allah, my brothers, hold on to Asl-Din, the fundament of religion, its beginning and its end. And that is La ilaha illallah. Affirm its meaning. Love those who belong to it. Consider them your brothers, even if they are far away from you. Make tawagid disbelievers. Hate one who loves them, or argue for them, or one who does not want to do takfeer on them. Or if he say, Allah did not oblige me with them, he lied about Allah and slandered him. Rather, Allah obliged him with them by ordering him to making them disbelievers and denouncing them even if they are his brothers and children. End of quote. Here, Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul-Wahhab said that Asl-Din is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only, to have Allah to believers, to enjoy La ilaha illallah, and to make Kufr from Tawagid and those who do not make them kuffar, who don't want to make takfir on them. And he said that these people who say, as so many today, they say you cannot tell to the Muslim, according to them, who is the one who makes shirk, that he is Kaafir. How can you do that? Do you know that Prophet ﷺ said, the one who said to the brother Muslim Kaafir, he is one of them. One to them. And so many mistaken understanding of this religion. And they said, Allah subhanahu, how many times they say, Allah subhanahu is not going to ask me, is that one Kaafir or this one Kaafir? What are you talking about? And so many excuses these ignorant people they put. And what Shaykh Islam he said here, he said that the one who speaks like this, that he is the one who slander and lie to Allah subhanahu, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it wajib, obligatory for him to make them disbelievers, because this is from the ASWJ. And inshallah, we are going to talk about this in future more. Now we come to our topic after this rather long introduction, either Muslim or Mushrik. And we say that the one who falls into Shirk Akbar, he is Mushrik. First, irrefutable evidence is from the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushrika bih. Verily, Allah forgives not setting up partners with Him. According to our enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these people, when they assigned al-Islam to the Mushrikun, they said, Allah forgives setting up partners with them. This is what comes from their understanding. Because these people, they say that the one who assigned Islam for him, and he was Jahil of Tawheed, and if he dies like this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still is going to forgive him. Because for them, this person, when he dies, he is still Muslim. Even though he falls into Shirk al-Akbar and he never makes tawbah of it. And maybe some of them, they through all their life, they persist in doing that Shirk. And they believe that this Shirk, what they does, is right path and is making them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ يُشْرِكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to forgive a Shirk Akbar to one who dies without repenting to it. And the one who does it, and he dies like that, he is going to end up in hellfire forever and ever. And he is far away from the mercy of Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. And these people say no. They say no, what are you talking about? These are our brothers, Hunafa Muwahidun. Hunafa meaning the one who with the knowledge stays away and dissociates himself from the Shirk and Mushrikun. And he's the one who with the knowledge and actively worships only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is Muwahid, the one who worships only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And he is Muslim. This is what they say for these who worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just because they are Jahil or they have Tawil. And because of that they say when this person dies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day or immediately will take him out of hellfire and put him in Jannah. And this is great jahl and dalala. Inna lillahi inna ilayhi raji'un. Second irrefutable evidence. Muslim will not be tested on Day of Judgment, according to Ijma of Ahl Sunnah wal Jemah. So therefore, who is the one who is going to be put on trial? The one who is going to be put on trial is not Muslim. Here, according to great majority of the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jemah, the person who dies and he was Mushrik, either he was the one who belongs to Ahlul Kitab or the one who assigned himself in Islam. If he was Jahil, ignorant person, and he could not take away this ignorance from himself by any means, but he was actively searching for the truth. But somehow he died in that state, doing shirk. He was mushrik in the worldly life, but hereafter, according to great majority of the scholars, to whom belongs Shaykhul Islam ibn Taymiyyah, his student Ibn Qayyim, Shaykhul Islam Muhammad Abdul-Wahhab, and scholars of al-Najd, ulama of al-Najd, they say that these people are going to be tested in hereafter. And there are many hadith regarding this topic. According to enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, these people who does shirk in this life, they are for them Muslims, and they are going to be questioned on their judgment as a Muslim. And this is great monstrosity. Because on their judgment, no Muslim is going to be questioned. Only people of Ahlul Fatra. Third, irrefutable evidence. Only Muslim soul enters into paradise. As it is reported from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, in a hadith in the meaning, for none will enter paradise but a Muslim soul. Therefore, the one who dies and he was Mushrik, Kaafir, and Hujjah came to him, he will never enter into paradise. Fourth, irrefutable evidence. Every matter has a basis. How can one ever be a Muslim if he has not realized the basis of al-Islam? As it is narrated in famous hadith of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, that Prophet ﷺ that Islam is built on 5 things, 5 pillars. And first and most important, which is Asluddin, is Shahada, that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is messenger of Allah. And this is the basis of al-Islam. Shaykh Abdul Latif and Ishaq, the sons of Abdul Rahman al-Shaykh, and Ibn Sahman, narrated from Ibn Qayyim, rahimahullah, quote, there is a consensus, ijma, concerning the people of Fatra. This is what we explained just before. And those whom the call did not reach to that, they cannot be judged as Muslims, and they do not come under the category of people who are allowed to be called Muslims. Not even for those who do not make takfeer on some of them. The term shirk must be applied on them, however, and its meaning deals with them. Now, then, which Islam remains after its base and its mightiest foundation are disrupted, which is La ilaha illallah. There is no one to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From Takfeer al-Mu'ayyan, page 43 by Shaykh Ishaq bin Abdul Rahman al-Shaykh. So here what are these 3 scholars from scholars of ulama of Najd, what they are saying to us? That person who dies while doing shirk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was ignorant and he could not take away his ignorance from himself, he belongs to the category of the mushrikun, and he cannot be called Muslim, muwahid. Then they say, not even for those who do not make takfeer on some of them. And what now, someone can say, but this is contradiction. Those who do not know what is the al-Islam, what is la ilaha illallah. They say, if they are not Muslims, so who are they? Are so many tell us. And what are the meaning of these words? Not even for those who do not make takfeer on them. So if they are not Muslims for them, so what hell are these shuyu talking about now? They do not make takfeer on them and they are not Muslims for them. And this is how they do not understand. But what is the meaning here of not making takfeer? Meaning is, linguistically, they are mushrikun for them. Because the one who falls into shirk is mushrik. But the qiyam al-hujjah did not come to them. That's why they were juhal, ignorant. And they could not take away his ignorance from them. And because of that, because the Hujjah did not came to them, they did not make takfir of them. Meaning the takfir of punishment, but not the takfir of giving the name of mushrikun. And to some of the scholars of Salaf, even the one who falls into Shirk, he is immediately Kaafir who is going to be punished. Like Sheikh Ibn Abdul Barr, Qurtubi, Qadi Ibn Arabi, and other scholars. They say that the one who falls into Shirk, he is a Kaafir immediately. So much so that Sheikh As-Sanani, he said that these are people who are Kufar Asliyun, who are the Kufar in its essence, meaning that they are never Muslims from the beginning. Because why? He said because they do not know the meaning of La ilaha illallah. So if you do not know the meaning of La ilaha illallah, how can you be Muslim from the beginning? As we are going to talk this short, inshallah. And how can the one who falls in the first step, first pillar, La ilaha illallah, how can he be Muslim from the beginning? The fifth irrefutable evidence. In this deen, legal terms, al-asma' al-sharia, are used for a person when they apply to him. A person will be called according to the deed which he does, by consensus, rationally, linguistically, in all languages, and according to the law of Islam. This is clear to everyone and also comprehensible to everyone. Meaning, in Arabic language, the one who drinks, he is a drunkard. The one who does riba, he is a rabi. The one who deals in usury, he is a usurman. The one who falls into shirk, he is what? He is a mushrik. And this is what are the legal terms, asma' al-sharia is all about. So if the one falls into something, then he is immediately called by that. So the one who drinks, he can never, and he is a drunkard, he can never be called the one who is a sober man. Because he is what? He is a drunkard. And the same token, the one who falls into shirk and he is doing shirk, he can never be called what? Muwahid, Hanif. Because he is mushrik. Now, it is only possible to call someone a kafir after he has received the message, risala. Meaning immediately he is a mushrik, but he is not mushrik kafir. Or he is not the kafir of punishment. Kufr mu'adabu alayh. Kufr mu'adabu alayh. Because the one who does not have received risala, he is not mukallaf. And he could not, because he was the ignorant of the message. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, مَنْ مَا كُنَا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We are not going to punish except after we send the messenger, meaning after we deliver the message to the people. Hence, one must differentiate between shirk and kufr. The term mushrik can also be applied to a person before he receives the message and the laws of Islam. Because it will apply to him according to this state. For instance, the prohibition to marry him. However, the laws concerning fighting, killing and punishing are not applied to him. Meaning what Shaykh is telling us here, that the one who falls into shirk is a mushrik, and we cannot give a daughter to him, we are not going to pray for him, we are not going to eat his meat which he slaughters, we are not going to bury him in a Muslim grave, but we are not going to kill him if the message did not come to him. And this is the difference between terms in Sharia meaning, in Sharia law. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he said in the chapter from Majmu' Fatawa, volume 20, page 37, as regards the legal terms and rulings, Allah separated between some of them and united some of them concerning what was before the risala, before the receiving of the message, and that which was after the receiving of the message. Therefore, the term mushrik is applied to a person before he receives the message, because he is already worshipping something besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and equalizing something with him and taking for worship gods other than him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these terms exist before the coming of the Prophet. Just like the term jahl, ignorance, and jahiliyyah, time of ignorance, the terms jahiliyyah and jahl are used even before the arrival of Prophet. But there exists no punishment for being jahil. And this is the quote from Shaykh al-Islam. Next, irrefutable evidence. Sixth, Islam and Shirk in their true meanings are complete opposites. And we touched a little bit upon this one. As we quoted before Shaykh Abdul Latif bin Abdul Rahman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah, بَلَى مَنْ أَسْلَمَ وَجْهَهُ لِلَّهِ هُوَ مُحْسِنٌ فَلَهُ أَجْرُهُ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِ وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Meaning, yes, but whoever submits his face to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he is a muhsin, doer of good, then his reward is with his Lord, and such shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. At-Tabari narrates from some of the Salaf a following. They said, he who submits his whole self to Allah means akhlasa lillah. He said further, like Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufail also said, I have surrendered my face to him subhanahu wa ta'ala, to whom the clouds carrying pure water also surrendered. So what Tabari is talking here about is when he said that the meaning Aslama wajhahu lillah is akhlasa lillah, meaning making sincerely all my ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and staying away from any other deity which people worship besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is al-ikhlas, sincerity in ibadah. Therefore, the one who falls into shirk, he is not from those who are akhlasa lillah, who is mukhlis. Because he is the what? He is the worshipper other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is a polytheist, mushrik. Therefore, the ayah means, whoever obeys and worships Allah purely, free from shirk for Allah alone, and carries it out in the best manner. In the best manner. He is what? Muhsin, doer of good. That's why Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he said, and so anyone who does not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must undoubtedly be worshipping something other than him. He worships someone other than him and is therefore a mushrik. Among the sons of Adam there is no third part. There is only muwahid and mushrik, or those who combine both parts, like the distorters or the followers of different religions, and the Christians and those who have gone astray, who consider themselves to be with him al-Islam. Here, Shaykh al-Islam tells us that the one who does shirk, he can never be Muslim. He can never be Muslim, because we said before that shirk and tawheed innahuma didani wala yajtamiyani, that they are opposite to each other, enemies, and they never can combine together. When one comes, the other leaves an opposite. That's why Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Shaykh, he said, he who commits shirk leaves tawheed, for they are two opposites which never come together and can never cancel each other out. Meaning, when Islam departs, shirk must take its place. Whereas it is irrelevant why Islam departed, and how he does not know this, he does not understand Islam. Seventh irrefutable evidence. The mushrik surely does not fulfill the conditions of knowledge from the conditions of La ilaha illallah, concerning which all scholars are in agreement. How can he then be Muslim? As it is known that there is a Jemah of all scholars of ASWJ TV, that the one of conditions of La ilaha illallah is ilm, knowledge. Opposite of it is jahl, ignorance. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Muhammad, فَعَلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Know therefore that there is no ilah, meaning there is no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. It is not possible that someone worships anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that he does it without perceiving in it godly attributes. Meaning that what he worships, he must perceive in his soul, in his heart, that this what he is worshipping by his ibadah has some attributes ilahiyah, divine attributes. At least what we can say is that he definitely thinks that what he is worshipping deserves his ibadah. What we are saying here is that in order that his la ilaha illallah is valid, in order that he enters into Islam, he needs to have knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one who worships other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the one who does not have enough knowledge to be Muslim. And how can the one who worships other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be excused with his jahl? Because the jahl is only a reason why he fell into that kufr from the beginning. And the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his Rasul, they are saying opposite to this. They are saying that this, which is conditioned to be Muslim, is excuse for him to stay as a Muslim, jahl. And condition is him, opposite to it. May Allah save us from this ignorance. May Allah save us from this ignorance and saying and slandering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The eighth irrefutable evidence. The Mushrik surely does not fulfill the condition of ikhlas, sincerity and honesty, which are also from the conditions of la ilaha illallah. And what we also touched upon. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Tawbah, فَإِن تَابُوا وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ. Meaning, when they make tawbah and perform salah and give zakah, then they are your brothers, ikhwanukum fi din, in your religion. And meaning of tawbah, as it is from the scholars, from the ijma of the scholars, is that they make tawbah of shirk, akbar, of big shirk, and they perform salah, give zakah, then they are your brothers' religion. Meaning of it is the one who falls into shirk and he does not make tawbah, he cannot be never your brother in religion. Because he is the one who is not, he does not have this condition of sincerity, ikhlas. He is not mukhlis, the one who only worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ninth irrefutable evidence. The mushrik definitely does not fulfill the condition of kufr with taghut, rejecting and refusing all that which is worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is also one of the conditions of la ilaha illallah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنْ يَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. Verily we have sent among every ummah a messenger proclaiming worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only and اجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ, avoid taghut. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Zumar, وَالَّذِينَ اجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ أَنْ يَعْبُدُوهَا وَأَنَابُ إِلَى اللَّهِ لَهُمُ الْبُشْرَى فَبَشِّرِ عِبَادِ. Meaning those who avoid taghut by not worshipping them and turn to Allah in repentance, only for them are glad tidings. So announce the good news to my slaves, ibad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains here that He ordered all prophets to refrain from taghut and to call the nations to refrain from it by means of refusing to worship taghut. And this is one of the two principles of this deen which cannot exist without them. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Baqarah, فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالتَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ لَهَا. Meaning the one who makes kufr and taghut and worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only then he is holy unto la ilaha illallah. Meaning then and only then he is the one who has the valid la ilaha illallah. So we ask those who debate and who call us Khawarij and Takfiri, and those who defend the Mushrikun, those who worship Allah other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing tahakum to Tawagit or voting for Tagut to come to power, or worshipping by slaughter or sujood or tawaf or any other ibadah, someone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we said to them, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can a person invoke an imaginary God, Ilah, for his means of living, or go to grace on anything which we just put, and also in the same time do kufr bi tagut, to refrain worship him tagut. So this is only these people, they can put in their mind. As a Christian they say Allah is one, but there is also three of them at the same time. And these so-called Salafis and Mujahideen, they laugh at the Christians and say that these Christians, they are crazy, but they are doing something similar at the same time. They are saying that the one cannot be Muslim except while he stays away, completely avoids worshipping Tagut. And they say that the one at the same time who does that, he's still Muslim for them. Inna lillahi inna ilayhi raji'un. This is complete madness. 10th irrefutable evidence. The Mushrik does not fulfill the first action he is supposed to do in order to enter Islam. This is what? Confession and belief in La ilaha illallah. Because in order to become Muslim, someone has to say and truthfully believe in this with the knowledge, Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah. And the one who worships other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is belittling, he is destroying immediately his testification, his shahada. Because protection for one life and that his mouth, his wealth is sacred for us is what? His testimony, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. When this person enters into Islam, but soon as something comes from him, from his deeds and his words of Shirk Akbar, immediately what? He nullifies his testimony. He nullifies his testimony. And the protection of one's life and property are by what? By showing truthful Islam to us. So as Sheikh Abu Maryam said, one must pay attention here that the protection of life and property is gained through showing one's Islam. So long as a person shows it outwardly and a contradictory deed to Islam cannot be seen from him, his Islam is considered as a correct, and this is called Islam al-Hukmi. If he should in reality be a liar, the requirement for escaping the fire on the day of judgment will not be fulfilled. The protection of life and property in this world, however, remains. Meaning, that someone who can be Muslim for us in apparent, but if he has these shortcomings inside of him, none can escape Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in reality, on the day of judgment, it will be exposed that he was in reality never Muslim. Never Muslim. This means the Islam of this person, which is apparent, is the source of his protection. This does not consequently mean that he really does fulfill all of the requirements of La ilaha illallah. One can only escape the fire of hell if he fulfills all the requirements of La ilaha illallah. And inshallah, we are going to finish today just by quoting the fatwa from the scholars of Ummah, that they are in agreement that the one who worships other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he can never be Muslim, muwahid. As Shaykh Isa ibn Abdul Rahman says in Takfeer al-Mu'ayyam, page 17, the people from the time of Fatra who neither received the message nor the Quran died in condition of Jahiliyyah and can never be called Muslim. The scholars are in agreement upon this. one cannot supplicate for their sins to be forgiven. The scholars have different opinions on the issue as to whether they will be punished in hereafter or not. Shaykh Abdullah ibn Hassan ibn Muhammad ibn Abdul-Wahhab al-Shaykh, he said, the early scholars and the scholars of today, from the Sahaba and Tabi'in and the Aimah and all from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jemah, are completely together in ijma, in agreement, that a person cannot be a Muslim as long as he does not make himself free from Shirk Akbar and from him who commits it. If one has to avoid them and show them enmity, everyone according to his ability and power, and one must perform his deeds sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only, and be pure from Shirk. Ad-Durr al-Rasamiyah, volume 11, page 545, 546. Here what Shaykh Abdullah said, that one cannot be Muslim except by making bara'ah from Shirk and ahluha. From Shirk and those who fall into Shirk. Doesn't matter do they belong to Ummahs of before Ahlul Kitab, or they are muntasibina for Islam, or they assign themselves to Islam. The one who falls into Shirk, he is Mushrik. As the sons of Shaykh Muhammad Abdul-Wahhab and Hamid ibn Nasir al-Muammar Shaykh said, if one commits deeds of Kufr and Shirk out of Jahl, ignorance, or because there is no one who points out to him his error, we do not call him Kaafir until the evidence reaches him, meaning until Hujjah comes to him. But, now if I stop here, then we say, see, you Khawarij, you Takfeeri. See, what are you saying? If person who does Shirk out of Jahl, what did show you? Three of them, three sons, Abdullah and Ibrahim of Muhammad al-Wahhab and Shaykh Hamid ibn Nasir al-Ali Muhammad said that they did not make takfir of them. So what are you talking about? Your Khawarij, they will say, because why? The shurut al-ma'an of takfir are not there. But what Shaykh is now saying, he said, but, lakin, we also do not say about him that he is a Muslim. Because they negate what? They negate takfir of punishment in dunya and hereafter, because the salah did not come to him. But if the one who falls to shirk is a mushrik according to all scholars of Ahlul Sunnah Jamaat. And the one who says differently, he is a Kaafir himself, because he does not know La ilaha illallah, and he belittles and ignores and defies the Quran and Sunnah. And to finish, this is from the Durr al-Sunnah, volume 10, page 136, and also from a Durr, volume 10, page 142, sons of scholar of Shaykh Muhammad Abdul-Wahhab, Abdullah and Hussein. They said, whoever died among the people of Shirk before this da'wah reached him, meaning the da'wah of scholars of Najd, the period from 170 to 1900, but it was known that he committed deeds of Shirk, which he regarded as a part of his deen, due to Jahad, due to Tawil, due to Taqlid, due to any other excuses these people assign them today, on which he died, he is given the status of someone who died in the state of Kufr. However, hence it is not allowed to supplicate for him, to slaughter in his name, or to give sadaqah in his name, or to pray when he dies. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what he really is. If the message reached him in his lifetime and he opposed it or resisted it, he is outwardly and inwardly Kaafir. If he did not receive the message, his case is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to judge. So what these sons, and who better knows the deen of Muhammad ibn Abdul-Wahhab than his sons, immediate students, what they said is that the one who falls into shirk, commits shirk, he is not Muslim, but he can be ignorant, the one who will not take away his ignorance from his sins, so his case is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on day of judgment, as we previously explained. And by this, inshallah, we will finish. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide me, my family, and to guide you and your families, to give us correct understanding of this religion of His, al-Din al-Islam, and to make us die as a mu'minun, believers, only worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only worshipping Him, and staying away from Shirk and ahluha. سبحان الله بحمده أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفره وأتوب إليه.